Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Quantum Leap Futures Morning Leap for Monday, February the 22nd, 2016. My name is Doug McKay. I'm the founder and head moderator of Quantum Leap Futures. Each morning we come together in these live sessions to take a look at the market, macro to micro, structure of the market, and then drill down to our trade levels, our targets, and our hypotheses for the day. This is a subscription room, so if you're interested in checking us out, I'll put my contact information up in just 1 second. We do these live sessions each morning, and then during the course of the trading day, we do live trading and analysis. Please read through the disclaimer. Nobody at Quantum Leap is a certified trading advisor. We are retail traders operating within a self-organized learning environment. Past performance is not indicative of future results, and any trades that you see in Quantum Leap are for education purposes only. Please trade your own due diligence, your own trade plan, your own trade metrics, and risk metrics. Okay, if you do want to check us out, just send me an email at quantumleapfutures@gmail.com. There is no website, there's no blog, this is not a commercial venture. This is just a live trade room. We've been in existence for a while now. If you like these videos, there's over 300 of them up on YouTube. You just do search for Quantum Leap Futures. Of course, you will need a Skype account. We do our live chat in Skype. It's easy to open up a Skype account. Send me a contact request at Doug_McKay. I'll give you a free trial into the room. All right, so Friday we opened up out of range. We had actually broken down and opened up below the prior day range. And we were looking for this 1897.75 to be tested and to hold, and then move back up inside of the prior day to test the middle distribution, LVN. We had a double distribution on Thursday, and I was thinking if we could get back up into the prior day range, we'd make a run up, take out the gap at 16 and a quarter, and test to the other side of the value, other side of this balance area up at the 1750 area. Well, we got up to 16, and we didn't have any OTF participation. You can see the relative bottom here, a relative volume on the bottom, just no OTF participation. Therefore, we just had horizontal development. We could not get any true vertical development because we didn't have firepower to do so. Local time frame traders, short time frame traders were in control, and we just simply chopped around trying to hold inside of the 11 and a quarter range low of the RTH session on Thursday, and then we ended up closing at 1450. So it was kind of a tough trading day. I got a few trades out and then just basically sat on the sidelines most of the afternoon. Each morning I like to start my day with a basic candlestick chart. I use two moving averages. I use a 9 EMA and a 20 SMA. I'm simply looking for where we are within the time frames. Do we have a strong trend within that time frame? Is it being violated? Is it getting challenged? Of course, the big news today, right now, is we had this big rally overnight. We opened our week up in our Globex session at 1911, tested down to the 1908 and a quarter, and then we rallied from there all the way up to the Globex high at 1938.75. We are above the month open. February open was at 1929.75, and we're currently trading at 35.25. So we're actually in a positive February right now. You see, we've got strong buyers that have come in here. In terms of the overall trend, we've had this beautiful trend up for several years on the monthly, and then August and September they challenged it. October and November they took it back. December they challenged it again, and then so far this year in January and February we violated the trend. We have a possible downward trend on the monthly. Going to the weekly, you can see we've started this downward trend. We are losing slope and separation, and we are challenging it. We are currently above the 9 on the weekly. Our 9 EMA on the weekly is down in this 1926.25. That could be challenged again today. Of course, a move up to the 20 SMA will take us all the way up into the 1990s. Not expecting that to happen today, but we are challenging this downward trend that we've seen in the last 6-7 weeks. Going to the daily, tells the story a little bit further. We've rolled back up, and we are currently trading above the 9 and the 20, and we do have a little start of slope and separation, possible upward trend. Are creating a bit of a technical gap right now, and we should be aware that we still have a naked cross down here at the 1881-82 area. Going to the 4-hour, again reaffirms the move that we're trending up again. We did challenge the trend on Friday's Globex and RTH session, but since then we've taken it right back and then some, and we've got this nice upward trend. There's a weak high right now on the Globex session. We have a double top on multiple time frames at 1938.75. I'm expecting that we'll probably see a move to test that 1940, 1941 area, but there is a couple key areas below that I think we will probably rotate back down to find buyers to make that move up into the 40s. But the trend itself is overall intact on the 4-hour. Same thing on the 1-hour. We had this technical gap. They come back, and it looks like we're going to close this gap by price and by time, but we have a nice upward trend. There is a naked cross down here. Write this in your journal at 1913.50. At 1911 area is going to be important, our week open. And going to the 30-minute, same thing. You've got a nice strong trend, created a technical gap, closed the technical gap, and now we've got continuation moving up. 15-minute, we were getting this consolidation. They were challenging the trend, but since then we've popped back up and coming up and trading in the 36s. Going to the 5-minute, and you can see more consolidation, possible cup and handle going on here. I want to just take a quick look at this. A little sloppy. I'd like this one a lot better, but let's see if this sets up and validates. Yeah, it's a little bit sloppy. I'd be watching, it's not bad. Just to give you an idea what the measured move is. Measured move would take us up, look at that, up into the 1939.75, 1940 area. And the 100% will test that CLVN at 41. But it's kind of, I'm not really crazy about it. It's kind of lopsided. But what I would keep an eye out is how this one sets up here. So if this one sets up here, it'll look a lot better. Here's your right and left rim, and then we need it to come back down and trade down to need to come back down to the 34.50, 34.75 up to 35.75. So could set up for a nice move. And then what's the measure move on here? $1938.75. So just keep an eye on that. I do want to just take a quick peek at the COT report. This is the Commitment of Traders report put out, collected, the data is collected up to Tuesday and then put out on Friday afternoon. And then Howard does a wonderful job of putting it into chart form for us. The zero line right here for net positive and negative, and the large spec and commercials are the dark blue and the light blue. You can see that they've gotten net short, and the retail is still net long. and smart money is starting to exit the building. That doesn't mean that we can't rally more. Just means that the smart money is starting to get net negative. So just be careful. Don't get your bull hat on too too strong yet. I do think there's still some upside potential, but we could be, especially with the money show going on right now. Usually they can make a big move during these money shows. Um, and there's a lot of headline risk that is coming into play this week. So let's take a look at the news, and then we'll get to the structure. No real news today. We've got flash manufacturing at 9:45, and then we got Australian leading index. So basically, just a little bit of news, not something that's going to really drive this market. The most important thing is right now is we're going to open up with a plus 20 gap. And a plus 20 gap, the gaps are rarely closed. Our gap close would bring us down to the close from Friday at 1914 and a quarter. I was earlier figuring out what the half gap was, but it's actually shifted. So we'll have to take a look at that. Let's take a look at where we are in the big picture. And I think this is important because we talked about getting above this 33 level and that 33.50 Globex high that we had put in last week. And we've broken out of this longer term balance, and we're going to get yet another gap. This is going to be 1, 2, 3. This is going to be our fourth gap. Usually the fourth gap can represent an exhaustion gap. So I'm leery about how far we can continue to go before we make a sharp downturn to start closing out some of these gaps. We are above the longer time frame value. Our microcomposite that we've been watching, which we've been chopping around in balance and testing below, and now we're going to test above again, starts from January the 7th through to Friday. Just before we gapped up over the weekend, we accepted value here at the 23 level, 22.75, and we've now gapped up. We were looking for that 31 and 30.50 to be taken out. I believe this is going to be tested today. I'll be watching this 33 level, and if we get below the 33 level, I think you've got a pretty good short into the 31, 30.50 and a test of the value area high here. Anytime we gap up, we're going to open outside of range, outside of value, with a very low probability of a gap fill. We do have to worry about initiative initiative buying, stepping in and going up right away and testing this 41. I'm going to be looking to sell the 41s back towards the 35 and back towards the 31s and 30 area. If we get below the 29, there's a little CLVN. It's not real distinct here, but it does show up overnight. I think it's actually 27.75 that I'm looking at overnight, but yeah, it's going to be right down here around this 28. Then we're getting back into this range here. I'll be looking for a move back into the 24, 25 area. The 24.50 was the approximate half gap, but that's going to move up about a point. So half gap is going to be around a 25 level. I think we can come down into this distribution. But right now we're in this wick up here, and in this distribution zone with the lower side of balance at 33, the upper side of balance at 41. I'm expecting to see some chop in here and possibly test both sides of this gap before they make or both sides of this distribution before they make a move above or below. I think the move's going to be below. I think that we've had a pretty big move overnight, and I think we're going to see move back towards this 31 and possibly into the 27. I'm not expecting much more than coming down. If we can get below that 27, 25 area, we'll possibly come back and test the last price before we broke out and gapped up, which is going to be down here at that 22.75. 21.75 is going to be my key line in the sand. Anything below that, then I'm looking for a move back down towards the gap fill and possibly chop around and fill this area in, this low volume node down here. If you look at the monthly right now, our monthly node, from January is here at the 25.50. That's going to be our half gap fill. Our value area high for the monthly is in this 32.25. That fits in with that 33 and a move back inside of value and a move towards 31 and the 27. We got a little node here at the 14.25. I'm not sure, there's only less than a 20% that will actually come all the way back down into 14, but it is 20%, and we have to respect that. So if we take a look at the action overnight, our overnight high, not likely to change. We still have a half hour, but it could change. But right now it's 38.75. Our overnight low is all the way down at 19.0825. Our VPOC could shift to 35, but right now it's at 34.25, so I'll put it there. If it shifts, just let me know. There's this small LV, there's the LVN and the VWAP from overnight here at 30 area, 30.25. This is my target, so I really can't use that. What I'm going to use is this 27.75, which is the value area low, and then the more pronounced LVN. So 27 to 27.75 is going to be a trade area for me. I'm also going to use this 33 for a move down into the 31. I want to make sure we're below 33 to get the push into the 31 and the 30 with a move to come down and test this 27.75, 27 area. The half gap is again approximately going to be around 24.50. We've moved back down. Right now as it stands, if we opened up at 35 and our close on Friday was 14.25, the half gap is going to be 24.75. So I'll just move it up one tick, but depends on where we open. We could even make this move down to 31. If we get below 33, well, I'm talking, I would take the trade into the 31 because we could very easily open up right in this former balance and take out the naked VPOC. This is a microcomposite VPOC as well, and then you've got the gap close at 30.50. So lots of confluence there. They may make this move before the open. Above us, there's really nothing between here and the 38. So I would not try to short anything above the 33 until we get up into the 41. 41 is a very strong resistance area. If we do get above the 41, there's nothing else I really need off of this profile. You can see how big of a trend. Now, net inventory overnight is going to be positive. So if they do get below that, I would say that 22, maybe even the 17, that could really punish the longs, and we might, that's where I'd be thinking possibility that we get a gap fill. But we'll put those lines in the sands in just a few minutes. Let me expand this out and let's do the upside first. Our daily ATR is running at 40.50. So off the bottom at 1908 and a quarter, our daily upside ATR target is 48.75. Our weekly ATR is running at 74.36. So off of the overnight low, our upside ATR target is on the weekly is 1982.75. And then, of course, our downside daily ATR target off of the 38.75 is at 1898 and a quarter. And on the weekly, it's down at 64 and a quarter. Not expecting a move down to either one of these daily ATRs, but you never know what, or the daily or the weekly downside target, but you never know. Especially if they leave that 38 alone, but I don't think they are. So let's take a look at the upside target. So above 41, I would be targeting, I think it's 44.75, 44.75, yeah, 44.75. And then 47 and a quarter. With our daily upside target. Resistance won't come in until we get up into 49.50. And then above 49.50, a real strong target here at 52 and a quarter. 60.75. It's not much. It gets pretty blunt up here. 62.50, 67, the 70.50, 72, and then above the 72, 77 and a quarter. And again, I don't think we're going to get up in this territory today. They made a big move overnight, over 30 points. So if we do break 41, 41 is going to be my line in the sand above. Then I think we'll probably get a move up to test the 44, 45, and I'd be looking for a possibility of responsive sellers stepping in there. But really, my focus is somewhere between 40 and 41. We're going to see some selling stepping in and moving us back down towards these 31 targets. All depends on what happens first. A late day rally up into 41 might give us a pop above and into that 44.75. But if we make the move earlier, I'm looking for responsive sellers to step in and move us back down through. Below 33, very clear target at 31 and 30. Look for continuation down to test the 27. And then below there, I'd be looking for the half gap fill, which is going to be somewhere between 24 and 25 area. If we open up, we are. And then below that, we have a first warning line at 21.75. Come on. I can't type this morning. And below that, you've got the naked VPOC from Thursday at 21. There's really, there's a target at 20 that I'd be looking at, and then 1775 is going to be my line in the sand below. If we get below 17, then I think we're going to close that gap. And below 17, you've got the target range high at 16 with the naked close at 16 and a quarter. But I would really be I'd be looking for a move down into the 1450, 14 area. And then you've got 11 1150 area, and below the 1150, 975, but I'd be looking for the overnight low to be tested. And then our value area low is down here at 0650. You've got the midpoint at 7.25, the open at 06. So I'd be looking for them to test there. And then there's not a lot below there. I'd be targeting the 03, 03.25, the 1900, 1950, and your daily downside target. And then the next key support level, it's going to be the 1898. It's really 1897.75. Our daily ATR is down there. Anything below there, I'm looking for a bigger move back towards that 1890. Remember, that 1890 is our microcomposite VPOC from this whole longer time frame value area, and it'll be a gap close as well. So if we get back to even to that 1897 and we can't hold and bounce off there again, I don't think we will. If we get back down here, look, I'm going to be shortened, I'm going to be shortened, I'm going to be shortened until my hands bleed back towards this 1890 area. There's a lot of repair to do down here, and we've got the rally going. Who knows where the rally is going to go, but this is our fourth gap. And when you've got a fourth gap, you've got to look at the possibility of an exhaustion gap. So I'd be looking for a move back towards. Crude's going to be critical for us to watch today. Also, the pound is getting pounded. So there's going to be some, I think there's going to be some pretty interesting rotations, but I think there's some clear definition and delineation of areas to lean against. If we take a look at the Keltner with Renko, the center line right now is at 35.75. We did get a VPOC shift, didn't we, at 35? So this VPOC is going to be shifted up to 35. If we hold below the Keltner center line, I would be looking for a move down into that 30 to 29. It looks like they're going to make that move and take out that naked VPOC, naked microcomposite VPOC, the gap, and test the overnight VWAP at 30.25 and that 29 level. Above the 35.75 Keltner center line, a move up to the upper Keltner takes us to 41.25 and tests that key line in the sand above. So gap is half gap fill is going to be slightly different, but we'll have to wait to see exactly where it gets closed out. I'll be watching that 33 very closely, gang. Even if we get into it before the open, I'd be looking for, they can't hold it, look for the move down into 31 and 30. I think it's a pretty decent short, and you know you're wrong if they get back above 33. I would probably even risk up to about 34.25 on that trade. Taking a quick look at gold, we said gold was not likely to get away from that 1201, the composite VPOC going all the way back to 2008. They've come down here. We're currently trading right around the microcomposite VPOC here at 1207.80, currently trading 1210.30. I'm expecting them to continue to chop gold and work its way back towards this 1200. Key line is going to be the 2270. If we get above the 2270, I'd be looking for a move up to test the upper side of this value up here at the 1235.10. Other than that, below 1193, I see further weakness in gold coming in, and but I don't think we're going to get away from this 1201 very quickly. I think we're going to end up chopping around here, testing both sides of this balance, up to the 2270, down to the 1193, possibly even into the 1180 area here, and start maturing this distribution zone. Still a lot of undetermined fair value here. Anyway, that's going to complete our pre-market session. As always, trade well, trade safe, and we'll catch you on the flip side.